Hey guys, Sheena here with Main Home Gardens, coming to you with your weekly update. If you're like me, you have already gotten the gardener's itch and you've been playing in the dirt, even if it's inside the house on your kitchen table, like me. Today we are doing our third go round of starts. This time we're using our peat pellets. When I initially did my eggplant and pepper starts, I was not able to find the peat pellets in the stores, and I was actually getting to be quite scared. But this past week, they started becoming available at several supply stores locally, so we stocked up. Our eggplants are the biggest divas on our farm, right next to the peppers. So I like to start those as early as January 1st, or the first week of January. So we've already started those. Also, my tomatoes, ones that are my aromas, or my paste tomatoes, and my beefsteak tomatoes that can take a little bit longer to begin to fruit. I like to plant them also first week to mid January. This also is good for our customers that use us to supply their gardens with our Clean Start line. This means that we're able to give them sizable plants when the time comes to sell at our spring plant sale. So, multiple reasons. We also have a 936 square foot high tunnel that we will need to get planted up as well. Fortunately, we don't have to do the whole thing because we did a lot of direct sowing over the winter with kale, mustard, collards, all kinds of peas, and we even did beans, a little experiment that I'm going to be showing you guys next week. Or I may do it this week and just share it with you next week. Anyway, so we today are working on another batch of Romas and some artesian tomatoes that we started doing last year. One is what is that? Speckled Roman tomato. This is a Johnny's Farm. And then another one we have is a blush, and another is a clementine. Now, the clementine is not a artesian, but it was one of the best tomatoes that we grew last year. The sweetest, like just delicious. It was hard to harvest them for other people because I was like, oh my gosh, let me just get one more. They were so good. Just hiding out in the hoop house and eating clementine tomatoes. But we're going to be finishing out this tray, and I have to do at least 2 more. And once these are done, the humidity dome goes on, and then they go on top of heat mats over on our growing shelf. Once they get to a certain size, we then move them outside. This time of the year, in our area, our nights have been on average in the 30s, and this week I noticed the temperatures jumped up quite a bit. We're looking at temperatures upwards of 72 by Monday of next week. So I don't know what's going on with the weather. Probably some big storm front coming through again. But it's okay for us to move these outside without a real hardening off period because of how we store them in the hoop house. They don't go through any temperature shock or anything. The area stays about the same temperature as the house does. At night, we'll put, if it gets below freezing, we'll put warm water bottles inside the shelving area that is covered in plastic. So they have the plastic for the hoop house, from the hoop house, and then they have the additional plastic of the covered area. So that's like 2 different zones there. So they're nice and toasty and warm, and we just remove one of the layers of plastic the next morning. So it's a lot of work, but it does mean that our plants are nice and strong. The stems are nice and healthy. They don't get leggy, and then they are able to be very productive for us. And then they also do very well when it comes to transplanting. Transplant shock is not as noticeable. I've caught on to with these plants. So yeah, so today that's what I'm doing. If you are in our area, zone 8, lower Alabama, then you may want to consider starting your tomatoes that are going to take 70 to 80 days. So those are going to be your Roma's paste tomatoes, and that's going to probably be most of your beefsteak tomatoes. If you're doing grape or plum tomatoes, you can probably hold off until the 1st of February. That's what we're going to do for a lot of them, is we're going to wait until February, because those are a little quicker. They're usually 65, 68 days before they're starting to fruit. And if you're like me, you probably have limited shelving as well for your grow lights and things like that. So also, you don't want these plants to stay potted too long. The longer they stay potted, the greater the chances that they can become root bound, and then you've wasted a lot of time. So yeah, go ahead and get your tomatoes going. Definitely get your eggplants going and get your peppers going, so that when spring comes around, you can go ahead and start harvesting the fruits of your labor. So that's all I have for you today. If you are going to be starting anything this month, please leave a comment, let me know what you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video.